Hello, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you are brand new. Today we are going to be talking about cozy games on the Nintendo Switch, like always, but today we're not going to be talking about Stardew Valley. We're not going to be talking about Story of Seasons or Harvest Moon. We're going to be talking about some of the more underrated cozy games that you need to know about. And I don't know, maybe some of these games released when a bigger game came out and they got kind of overshadowed, or you just never heard of it. There are thousands of games on the eShop, so yeah, I mean, it's bound to happen, right? Some good games slip through the cracks, so if you're looking for any new cozy games to play, this video might be the one for you. All right, let's get it started. Let's go to the first one. First up on the list, we have one of my favorite Nintendo Switch games. I actually wanted to put it first just so everyone would see it. This game is called Moonlighter, and this game kind of teeters on, is it cozy? Is it not cozy? I think it is. This game is, at its core, a dungeon crawler where you play as a shopkeeper who has to go through a series of dungeons to make it to the end and defeat the boss. There is another style of gameplay too, where you own a shop, and the things that you find in the dungeons you actually sell in your shop. There is a couple of twists though. You don't know what anything costs. You don't know the value of anything. So you have to kind of learn the values through selling them to your customers, and your customers will let you know if it's too cheap, too expensive. And so yeah, it's kind of a game of trial and error. There is also a town where you can upgrade your armor and weapons. This is just a really good time. I can't say anything, bad about this game, really. I think if I were to, want something else, it's just like maybe a bigger town or some other things to do, like fishing, like farming. But yeah, there's a lot of risk and reward with this game. Do you keep going deeper into the dungeon to get more valuable things that you could sell in your shop? Or do you go home and just, sell what you have? This one is really addicting, and if you are looking for something that isn't the typical farming experience, this game is good. This game might even be great. Check it out, Moonlighter. Put it on your wish list. This game goes on sale all the time. $5 for like the complete edition. Can't go wrong with this. Check out Moonlighter. The next game is called Islanders, and I guess to sum this game up would be sort of like a mini town builder, and you build these sort of environments or cities or towns or whatever you want to call it on these islands as suggested in the name. Now this is sort of a strategy game where you're trying to place a bunch of things on the islands, but you do have restrictions. So you can't place this building near this one, and they'll let you know what the restrictions are. So it's basically a high score strategy game, although there is a free play mode where you can just enjoy the sounds and the music of the game and just build your own sort of mini lands on these islands. This one, especially for me, is one of those games right before bed. Hits a little bit different, looks great in handheld mode, especially on the OLED. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you've checked out any of these games, but especially Islanders. I feel like this one gets lost, and it is on the cheaper side too, especially if it goes on sale. This one, another no-brainer. Check out Islanders if you want that little mini town builder strategy experience. Now, I know Lego games aren't necessarily underrated, but I do think Lego Brick Tales is one of those games that I don't hear enough people talking about. This game is an adventure Lego game, but different to the other Lego games, you are playing as a Lego character in these sort of mini diorama type levels, similar to a game like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, actually. And you have to solve people's problems, and you do have scenarios that you have to fix by, of course, building stuff with Legos. Now, I will say, if you can play this game on PC, it does control a lot better. The console version, the Switch version, isn't bad either. So basically, you'll get these little sort of problems where you have to build a bridge, and then the game will shift towards this builder mode, and it's up to you to build a bridge however you'd like with the pieces that you're given. And I don't know, I really liked this one because the writing, of course, is good. You are, dealing with NPCs, problems and stuff. The graphics I thought were really good. And the idea of it's kind of an open-ended builder, I think just makes for a very fun game. The Lego games often do go on sale as well. But Lego Bricktales is one of these games that I just feel if you are not even a fan of Legos, but if you are a fan of Lego, go for it. But if you just sort of like the satisfying Lego sounds clicking together, it's just so amazing. But yeah, Lego Bricktales, this is a fun one. Check it out. The next game is another puzzler, but it's more of an arcade take. And this is Gematombe? I don't know how to say it. Teach me, everyone. But this game is your classic brick breaker. And I will say that before we start off, I do think that this game really shines when you play multiplayer. So if you have a partner or a friend that you can play with, this is definitely going to be a better experience. But still, solo, I had a lot of fun. So Gematombe is a brick breaker, but instead of bouncing the ball off of a platform at the bottom of the screen, you actually can bounce it into this shooter where you can then line up your next shot and shoot the ball. And I really like that because I feel like there's a lot more strategy involved with this one. And basically the goal of this game is to shoot this ball and bounce it into like colors. So the more colors that are lined up, the more blocks will disappear. And if you're playing multiplayer, you can really screw over your friends if you get a lot of matches. This one is very solid. I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about Gematombe. But this game definitely is a gem if you like those single screen arcade experiences, especially, like I said, multiplayer is king here. But I do think there is enough content to even, satisfy someone who wants to play it solo. Gematombe is a game that I always go back to. It takes the classic brick breaker formula and really just switches it up. The graphics are good too. I like the soundtrack. This one's a winner. Next up is another one of my favorites, and I would put it almost at the level of Moonlighter, and this is Potion Permit. I've talked about this game before, but you're gonna hear about it again because I really love it. And you play as your town's healer, so you play in sort of this hospital setting. And instead of your classic farming, fishing, and things like that, you are going around and foraging different ingredients. You'll later use those ingredients, you'll take them back to your hospital, and those ingredients turn into different shaped blocks, which you will use to create potions. And every single day, well, most days, you'll get some people that will show up at your hospital and they will have a certain illness or an injury, and it is up to you to make these potions to cure them. Now, that's sort of the short story, and that's mostly what you'll be doing. There are relationships in this game too, so there is like a social element. You can actually work at little jobs in the town too with their own mini games to earn money. This game has a lot going for it. It has a lot of biomes too. It is combat heavy, which I think, could be a deal breaker for some people, but this is a game. It does have an ending. It's not endless like a game like Stardew Valley or anything, but from beginning to end, I was hooked. There are also DLCs that you can add different decorations to your house. You can customize that a little bit. It's a cute game. It's around a 30-hour experience, but Potion Permit is one of my favorites. Check it out. The next game might be the most addicting game I've ever played. I'm not even kidding, like on any system, and that is Balatro. Now, I think this is super cozy. I love card games, and this one is a little difficult to explain exactly what it is, but definitely check up other reviews and yeah, look up other videos of this game if you can. Now, this is a high score poker-esque game where you have a deck of cards and you get these special Joker power-ups, and basically the whole point of it is to get the highest score. Now, this is a roguelike game, so if you don't get the score the game is asking, you actually die and you start over from the beginning with a whole new deck of cards and all new Joker cards to power up your other cards. At its core, it is a poker game where you're trying to make the best hands to create the most points. And each of these Jokers will sort of act like different power-ups. So one Joker might say 5 times your score for every heart card you play. So just different scenarios like this. You never know what Jokers you're gonna get. There are different power-ups that you can buy with the in-game currency. Man, look up this game if you enjoy card games and you want to literally be sucked into a game. I can't tell you how addicting this game is. I've already put like 30 plus hours into this, and I didn't buy it too long ago. So Balatro is a game that I keep coming back to. I think it's the definition of cozy, and hours just go by. Maybe don't get it, because if you want your life, yeah, just maybe don't get it. The next game is called Garden Story. This came out a couple years ago. I think a few years ago at this time. What is time anyway? But Garden Story is a beautiful looking game. Check out these graphics. I love how vibrant it is. I love the art style. You play as a little grape. I think it's a grape. It's a grape with legs, I think. This does give me Zelda vibes. There are puzzles. Combat is pretty heavy. There are different requests that you can do for the townsfolk. This one was, I like this one a lot. And actually my fiance loves this one. She always goes back to this one. More on the adventure side, more on the combat heavy side, but the graphics, the sound effects, the music in this game is something that just gives me cozy vibes. There are different seasons and time of days, of course. And yeah, this one's a good one. I would say out of all of these games, it's probably the most difficult in terms of like, you're gonna die in this one. I mean, Balatro, you're gonna die, and Moonlighter, you're gonna die. But this one definitely has a learning curve to it. You can power up your character, and again, you're gonna be doing those requests daily that'll keep you coming back for more. But if you haven't checked out Garden Story, I think this one is a sleeper hit, especially if you are craving sort of the 2D Zelda games. This one's a good one. The next game on the list is a game that is interesting to talk about because what if I told you you could beat this game in about 35 to 40 minutes? And you might be saying, nope, I'm not paying for that, but this game does go on sale a lot. I think I got it as low as $1.99 on the eShop. And this game is a visual novel sort of experience, and that game is called Florence. Now, I don't want to give away too much because this game is very story heavy, but you play as a girl named Florence, and let's just say it deals with relationship problems and relationship scenarios. Some of you can relate to the message that this game has. I certainly related to it. But basically, yeah, this game is a visual experience where you will do very easy, very simple mini games that progress the story. And man, you might be asking like, why are you even including this one? It's only like a 30-minute game, but this game has stuck with me. It's one of those games that you just kind of, you think about from time to time. And honestly, I could see myself playing this one every couple years or so because the story is just that good. There's a really good message to it. And it's definitely like one of those coming of age stories where things will be okay. I think that's the message that you should take away from it. But I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Check it out for yourself. If you like these visual novel type experiences, check out Florence for sure. Next up is a game that I had tons of interest in, and I'm glad I finally played it, and that is Smushi Come Home. It's funny because I was following this game for years, and they changed the name of it a couple times. But anyway, this is a 3D platformer, and it has a lot of similarities to like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. It has sort of the same stamina wheel. There is a glider that you can use, but this game reminds me the most of Mail Time if you've played that. and that is another 3D platformer where you play in this like smaller world. But Smushi Come Home is really cute. You play as this little mushroom person, and you're kind of gliding around this little world. And it is like a collectathon type thing. You will have different quests that move the story along, but I like these little bite-sized games. I don't know. Kind of reminds me of when I first started, you know, playing games on like the N64 and PS1 and stuff like that. You have these like 3D platformers where you jump to ledge, and it's just kind of brings back a lot of nostalgia for me. But if you do enjoy these types of games, definitely wish this one. Maybe wait for a sale, but Smushi Come Home is a game that I would definitely recommend, especially if you like those sort of old 3D platformers, and especially if you enjoyed Mail Time, which I did. So check this one out, it's fun. And finally, I wasn't sure if I was going to include this game on today's list, but Alchemic Cutie is the last game for today's video. And if you don't know about this one, it is basically a pixel art version of Slime Rancher. And Slime Rancher is really cool. I also recommend that one. But Alchemic Cutie sees you playing as a character, and it's a very chill experience where you're basically raising these little blob creatures that you find in the world. Now, there is a story going on too, and you will have quests to complete those. But okay, here's the thing about this game. I really liked it. I love the music in it, and I do like the idea of ranching as opposed to farming that you see in a lot of these games. I will say though, what I remember about playing this one is that I had to figure out a lot of stuff on my own. I feel like the game didn't really give me too much direction, but what I did play, I actually really liked. I do remember this game not offering a ton. It doesn't have a ton to do like you see in a lot of these sort of busy work farming games, but I do like the blobs. I like the ranching. The characters are really good in this game. And I will say, probably the strongest point of this game is the writing. I found the writing to be really good. And of course, the sound effects, the music, the normal things that you would expect from one of these games. But yeah, if you like games similar to Slime Rancher, where you're like raising blobs, you can breed them, feed them, just kind of hang out, enjoy the environment, I think Alchemic Cutie is really good. There are different seasons as well. And just be prepared to maybe look up tips and tricks videos, or, you know, I don't know, like I did. I just kind of figured out a lot of stuff on my own. So if you can get by that, I think Alchemic Cutie definitely is an underrated cozy game. So there you have it. Those are my 10 cozy game recommendations that I feel like are underrated. You may have heard of some of these before, but I like to shine a light on these. You know, if you forgot them, maybe they're still on your wish list, pick them up. They're all good. Definitely recommend all of these. And yeah, I tried to pick games that were in like the cozy genre, but like different, you know, like Brick Tales. You got the building elements. You got puzzle elements. Some are more traditional cozy games, but yeah, let me know if you've played any of these on the list. Also, let me know in the comments any underrated cozy games I missed. What games do I need to check out? Maybe we'll do technically part 3. I've already done one of these. So yeah, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, everyone.